Atlantis, Paradise Island.
Welcome to the Bahamas, famous for, amongst other things, the Baha Men, and the never-to-be-forgotten Who Let the Dogs Out. Never mind the dogs, who let this lot out?
Time to start to be serious.
Well, we've shaken up the format a bit this year, so here's how the Metrex trophy for the world's strongest man is going to be won.
Worth repeating that instead of 30 finalists this year, there were just 12. They play each other over 11 events on a head-to-head basis, with 5 bonus points available in each event. The top 6 will make it through to the final. This is the last day of competition, casting an eagle eye over every event as ever, former world's strongest man Jamie Reeves. And here's how things stand with just a few events to go. Zydrunas Savickas has 49 points, but he only has one event left. All the way down, people like Raimonds Bergmanis are still in contention. It really is wide open. And down on the beach for the first event today, one of the highlights of the entire qualification system.
Wrestling.
This could be a classic. Virastyuk up against Pudzianowski.
Ready! Vasyl Virastyuk against Mariusz Pudzianowski. There's no love lost at all here in this bout of wrestling, and I would personally pay to watch this one.
Poland up against the Ukraine, and Pudzianowski getting stuck in straight away. He's so quick. He is a karate expert. Oh, and he twists Virastyuk round. That was lightning fast. Well, if that last performance is a sign of things to come, this is the favourite to take this strongman wrestling competition. Can Virastyuk come back?
1 under, 1 over, come on.
One arm under, one arm over. That is the starting position. And Virastyuk really off to a quick start, and Pudzianowski is out.
Vasyl
gets the decision from Dr. Douglas Edmonds. It is 1-1. Wow, we said there was no love lost, and you can see from the expression on both men's faces, they are determined to try and take the full quota of points here.
Come on, get these hands up, please.
Well, certainly, Virastyuk is not keen on getting his arm anywhere near Pudzianowski at the moment. Virastyuk is off to the quicker of the 2 starts. Pudzianowski so close to getting Virastyuk out. Oh, but Pudzianowski is spun round. That was classic. A big 4 points for Virastyuk.
Some of the people were frightened watching it. What was it like for you?
Yes, I wasn't afraid. Just fit and strong. It's a real battle, this event.
In this event, a good big un doesn't always beat a good little un, and Magnus Samuelsson, despite being almost a foot taller, was actually beaten by Brian Turner.
Deadlift.
First of all, you deadlift the basket, and then it's a warm-up. After that, you're into the scoring zone. If you can lift this final barrel of 370 kilograms, there's a maximum of 5 points.
I think what I will do now is just try to make slowly pace and see how the back feels each lift, and just try to make a decent result without hurt myself, and try to catch up in the other ones.
This has always been a very difficult event indeed for Magnus Samuelsson.
Lift.
Well, he's certainly in with a chance of qualifying for the final. Both he and Svend Karlsen have completed the same number of events, so there's still a lot of points to be won and lost. This for a bonus point. Looking a little bit concerned already. Svend Karlsen, he'll be going in a short while. Another lift required by Magnus Samuelsson, and he gets it. Long arms, but the trouble is the long legs. That means he's got to lift it more distance than just about anybody else. Well, he's completed a lift already of 705 pounds, but that is it. So with one event to go, Magnus is still in there shouting and screaming and lifting.
The deadlift is not a very technical event. It's just basically standing up, so you're probably not going to make any mistake. So if you miss, you miss. It's not because you do a mistake, it's just because you're not strong enough.
I think a lot of people involved in the sport of powerlifting might disagree with Svend Karlsen about the lack of technique required here. So Svend Karlsen, 3 lifts to beat if he's to go ahead of Magnus Samuelsson and make his bid for the final. And yet another final it would be for this Norwegian. He's made the final 5 times out of 5 so far, and looking good at the minute. Incredible weights being lifted here. 700 pounds plus. Svend Karlsen just putting a bit of extra French chalk on the hands. That's perfectly allowable. Come on, they're saying, we want to see one more. Certainly he's got plenty of time left. He wants an extra bonus point. He's already got the point for the win. Oh my goodness, look at the blood with the pressure he's built up in his body.
Was that harder than you expected?
Yeah, way harder. You know, I'm in quite good shape now, and I done quite well in deadlift in the training, and I don't know, maybe I'm 30 weak down here, I don't know, too lazy life. Really rusty after a few days we've been here before we started, but I don't understand nothing.
Already on the second lift, it felt really heavy. And I was thinking that either I'm weak or this is very heavy. But when I saw Sven, I felt good again, because he's, as I said, he's a great deadlifter, and it's a heavy load on that machine.
Fingal's fingers.
Amid the palm trees down on a sun-kissed beach, 5 Fingal's fingers, named after the mythological Irish giant that have to be picked up and pushed over, each one in turn. The heaviest weighs 300 kilograms. What about actually doing this on sand? Is that going to be tricky?
I can see injuries maybe. You know, it's I know they've compacted the ground, but even so, it's still a bit slippy underfoot. So maybe 4 might win it.
I've never done it on sand before, but I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm going to make sure that I apply the right technique to get all 5 up today. I'm feeling good.
Brave words indeed by Mark Felix.
Mark Felix is tall enough to toss all 5 fingers. Adrian Rollinson never has tossed 5 before, so it's now or never for Adrian.
So Mark Felix, one of the first times he's ever done the Fingal's fingers. Adrian Rollinson, he knows this equipment well. That is over for 1 bonus point for each of them. 200 kilos on to 225. The technique is relatively simple. It's the balance that can be the problem. Very dry, no problems with wet Fingal's fingers at all. There's a bit of a breeze blowing here on the beach. This is a good effort by both of them so far. Adrian Rollinson and Mark Felix on the far side, making slow and steady progress. That's what it's all about. There's his wife Helen and son cheering on dad and husband Adrian. And Mark Felix is gone. His effort and his hope of getting 5, well, it's disappeared altogether. Adrian Rollinson now, though, on number 5. He lifted 4 up in 49.73, and that means he's got the extra bonus point for beating Mark Felix, but now he wants another point for getting number 5. That would be terrific. I'm not sure either of these 2 guys can make it through to the final now, but Adrian Rollinson has put up another good performance, beating Mark Felix.
Atlas Stones.
It was disappointing for you last year, the Stones. So have you been training very hard for the last 12 months?
Yes, very hard, for the Stones especially. Focusing on technique, not power.
He's a very laid-back character, Virastyuk, I must say. And up against one of the toughest competitors in the Atlas Stones.
Virastyuk versus Bergmanis, a clash of the Eastern Bloc. This could be anybody's.
Raimonds Bergmanis trying to get away quickly on the far side. Virastyuk too, having a bit of difficulty with that first stone, which weighs 100 kilos. Well, Virastyuk at the moment lying in a tantalising 6th position with 2 events to go, so he needs a good performance here, and in the last event too. Bergmanis is going well. A very good performance by Raimonds Bergmanis, but now Virastyuk is really getting his second wind, and he's gone way ahead now of Raimonds Bergmanis. Can he get up number 5? A massive 160 kilos. That is superb. Well, Virastyuk came through very quickly towards the end of that contest. Bergmanis gets 5 as well. An extra point for him, but Virastyuk, I think this guy is on his way to the final. That was good from the Ukrainian.
I told before, it's a 50-50. It's a very close race. And him is much better. Him a younger, and him needed that points too.
You're looking in fantastic shape this year. Are you better this year than last year?
Да, наверное, да. He thinks yes.
Welcome back to Atlantis, Paradise Island.
Safe lift.
In warming up, I try 3 reps, but I think do more.
I'll bet any money at all he will do more as well. Zydrunas Savickas, a magnificent 49 points at the top of the leaderboard.
Lift!
And unluckily for Mark Felix, he's got this man against him. Oh, he's already got a problem, my goodness. That was a surprise, those safes wobbling about, making life difficult. You don't have to put the weight down in between each lift. And this is a straight military press, an old-fashioned pressing movement, as Felix watches on in awe of the strength of Savickas. Absolutely superb. 5 lifts, 1 more for 3 bonus points altogether. He has a little rest. He's got 75 seconds altogether. And this guy, who's a former powerlifter, like so many other strongmen, loves strongman competition. Loves the log lift, the squat, the deadlift, the truck pull, and I reckon he's going to like this event as well afterwards. The greatest number of lifts that we've seen so far is 9, and Svend Karlsen and Tomi Lotta both achieved that figure. A few nervous moments it will be for Mark Felix. Good lifting, 8 lifts altogether for Savickas. And Felix looks more and more nervous each time we look at him. And that is the end, he's run out of time. A magnificent total for Savickas.
How many do you think you can manage?
Well, it's a bit heavier than the one that we do in Britain, but I've been practicing, shoulder get stronger, so I reckon I could go the full 10, 11.
Well, he certainly does not lack ambition, that's for sure. Mark Felix to go next, desperate to get more points.
Lift!
Well, I certainly hope that Mark has enjoyed his first excursion into World's Strongest Man competition. No doubt about the fact he's found some of the events very difficult. He is packed full of talent in that massive body.
Down! Begin!
Is that 2?
Begin.
Well, he wants to get the weight back on the platform. I'm not sure he's been given that, to be honest.
Nope.
No, he won't be given that one either. You've got to lock the arms out. You've got to stay absolutely still. He's finding it difficult. Savickas safe, I think, in first place. That surely is given. So Mark Felix believes he can become the world's strongest man one day. It's going to take a huge amount of training and practice. No, he's wobbling around all over the place. If anybody's ever been in a gymnasium with a weightlifting bar and hoisted it above their head, you know how difficult this is. But when it's structured like this, And the weights are swinging around. It really is a problem. It's also thicker, that weightlifting bar across the top, than a normal one as well. And if you've got small hands, well, it's a compounded problem too. But Mark Felix, one event away from his last appearance, I think, in World's Strongest Man. He's been beaten here by a brilliant performance by Zydrunas Savickas. And the Lithuanian should maintain his position at the top of the leaderboard.
I thought I was unlucky. I was a bit wobbly up in the air, but I was disappointed. I think I should have get more than that, but anyway, just unlucky.
Squat lift.
Svend Karlsen was more than unlucky. A muscle bleed forced him to quit the squat lift, but he refused to pull out of the competition.
You are almost in the final. What is your approach to here? Will you be trying to get all the barrels?
No, today is for me impossible. Six barrel, maybe 4 barrel is I finish. I go to final easy. Only go to final. Final, I'll show you how I have strong legs.
Well, I think that's an understatement to question Mark whether he's got strong legs or not. There's no doubt about that at all. They're super strong. And a big disappointment too for Svend Karlsen. And I just wonder whether we're going to see him again, to be honest.
Lift! Stands out!
One of the most perfectly sculptured bodies in strongman. His knees heavily wrapped. That's for protection and support. And the big weightlifting belt around his tummy as well. That's going to help. 3 lifts. Good effort. He's already ahead of Svend Karlsen. So he wins this contest. And now he's going for the extra bonus points. 739 pounds, 335 kilos. And that is enough. He knows he's done enough. And I think he knows, he's so experienced, that he is now in the final.
And as a result, maybe he took his foot off the pedal just a little bit, losing to Murumets in the giant farmer's walk. By this stage, though, everybody's getting tired. Brian Turner beats Tomi Lotta, scoring 3 points to his 1. Moving on to the stone circle, Murumets picked up a good 4 points, overcoming a dispirited Dane. But Minkwitz then did perk up a bit in the deadlift, beating Adrian Rollinson, who really was feeling it.
How big a problem for the carrying is those calluses going to be on your hands?
I don't think there'll be much problem. Not really, because you grabbed the anchor, so shouldn't be a problem, I don't think.
Well, I sincerely hope not, for Adrian Rollinson's sake, and he's up against Brian Turner, of course, who came in for Hugo Girard. So it's the Celts against the Sassenachs.
Are you ready?
Scotland's strongest man up against the strongest man in England. And there's a bit of pride at stake here, that's for sure. 100 kilos, crashed down on the ground. Oh, he nearly ran round and forgot about the hook to go into the anchor. But now Adrian Rollinson is away, but he fell flat there. Brian Turner beginning to pick up speed now. They've got to keep the impetus going to make sure that anchor and chain slides along the ground. Now the hurt, the pain, the lactic acid is beginning to kick in. And it's Adrian Rollinson, neck and neck now with Brian Turner. Good effort from both men. The anchor has got to go over the finishing line. Adrian Rollinson just coming to a halt there. Brian Turner has taken his chance. This is very, very close, but Turner's going to win it. Scotland the brave. Adrian Rollinson in second place. Hopefully he can finish the course to get maximum bonus points. So Adrian Rollinson back on his feet, but he's run out of time.
Celtic power, eh? Don't you?
But it was nip and tuck. Tell us about, as it was going on, how you were seeing it.
It was close all the way, eh? Just at the end, he'd fell, so I managed to keep my feet, so good.
Motorcycle walk.
I think I just want to go out and try to make it all the way, because Vasyl is probably the fastest man in the world with this yoke.
So it's the Ukrainian Virastyuk in orange up against Rene Minkwitz. There he is. The Dane. I wonder if he is the great Dane today.
Ready?
Not such a strong event for Rene Minkwitz, but for Virastyuk, he can really move with these motorbikes.
Left!
Well, certainly Vasyl Virastyuk has got a great chance to make it through to the final in this, his last event. Looking good here. Rene Minkwitz is way behind already. Only about 5 meters down the course. This guy is almost sprinting. 410 kilos, nearly 1,000 pounds in total. That was superb. And even more worrying for everybody else was, it looked so simple. The distance he put between himself and Rene Minkwitz over the course of the first 10 or 15 meters was phenomenal. Well, that shows the great camaraderie between these guys. The competition is no less intense, but the friendship and the encouragement coming now from Vasyl Virastyuk. And Rene Minkwitz, or has he got the puff left? Trying to breathe in as much oxygen as he can. And judging by those flags, you could almost say this is a wind-assisted performance, but the strong wind is not going to help Minkwitz. That was a determined and a decisive victory by Vasyl Virastyuk of the Ukraine, and well supported by everybody.
You had a bad accident in Malta a few years ago with that event. Does that still ever, stay on your mind?
It does. Every time I do over 300 kilos. There it is. Still scared. I think it will always be there, but just have to keep on practice, not think about it. Let's go. But he's the best in the world. What can you do?
Can you go faster than that? Now, at this stage of the competition, the top 3 are safely into the final, but the last 3 spots are being fought over by 4 men, divided by just 4 points.
Truck pull.
Lotta did all he could do, picking up 6 points to put the pressure on the rest. Bergmanis was up against the injured Karlsen and did what he had to do, another final for the Latvian. But how much power did the Viking have left? Sven, how are you doing down there?
Oh, well, we just have to see. I must try. If I don't try, I'm gonna hate myself. So.
How much pain are you in?
Like labor, I think. Like giving birth. I don't know. It doesn't really feel painful before I put pressure on it. So it just have to try to work myself through that pain barrier. I need 3 points, and that's what I'm aiming for.
It is definitely going to be a struggle, though. So he's up against Raimonds Bergmanis' time of 31.19. And this really could be agony for Svend Karlsen. And even if he does make it through to the final, if he does any more damage to that leg, there's no guarantee he'll even get through the first or second event. But as we've said, a very brave effort indeed. And Svend Karlsen trying to make a final for the 6th time in his career. In the last 3 World's Strongest Man finals, he's finished in 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. Just walks across the line. Happy to be in one piece, I think. And both those guys, Karlsen and Bergmanis, through to the final.
I'm pretty happy with the cards I'm holding right now. I need to pass the 3-point mark, and when I've done that, then I will just smile for the rest of the day.
So can Magnus make the final? Away goes Magnus Samuelsson. A slow start, but building up the speed now. And the Swede has been a permanent fixture in World's Strongest Man finals for many, many years now. Ideally built for this sort of event. And he drops the rope just like Mariusz Pudzianowski did. And this is a new tactic. As soon as they build up speed, the guys let the rope go, and then it's all on the legs. And unlike Svend Karlsen, of course, there is no injury for Magnus Samuelsson. He's surely going to be in the final now. That is a winning time for Samuelsson, 32.21. The extra point is given, and he's in the final once more.
I'm glad I went for it, and really pleased with the place in the final.
How many finals is that now? 7, 8?
9.
9 finals.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it?
This is my 10th straight World's Strongest Man. I started back in '95 here in Bahamas.
You've only missed out on the final once.
Yeah, '96. But that was due to injury, and also I got married the week before the contest.
Tired.
Really tired, but happy.
6 men, tired but happy, through to the final of the Metrex Trophy, where the real question will be, can Mariusz Pudzianowski win it for a 3rd consecutive year? And real sympathy for Tomi Lotta, who missed out on a place in that final at the very last fence. So the 12 have now become 6, it's a European monopoly, and it's a thrilling final in prospect.